Voila! New picture. Thank you to John Smith, who is our anonymous donor off of YouTube. He knew that my water was starting to taste like chlorine and tape because it sprung a leak and I taped it. It doesn't taste good. So this tastes a lot better, but I learned a lot, you guys, as a personal update. This thing, the Brita filters don't filter microplastics out of the tap water. Most of the microplastics are coming from the PVC pipes in the town water supply. So most of the plastic won't come from leaching in these containers. I tried to find a glass one. There aren't any glass ones. But what I was really shocked was even the filter has micro beads that are made of plastic in here, and the beads and the filters leach more than the jug does. So we have to find a whole different way to filter. And reverse osmosis is the best, but it's like a big system unless you guys know a small one and can help me buy it. I'm trying to get all microplastics out of my diet because we all have like a plastic spoon's worth of plastic in our brains on average. And every single day, almost everything you eat has between something like 10 to 150 microparticles of plastic in it. Virtually everything. Isn't that shocking? Even if you want to get away from plastic in your water, you can't. Unless it's very specialty water. So anyway, I'm happy that I have at least that filter in place. It'll take out at least the chlorine and, you know, something in all the other contaminants. Some good news though. I just had Instacart refund me another $33 because I went to go buy that filter and a couple of small things, and somehow I was spending like $160. And I was like, what the heck? And they double charged me, overcharged me. They added extra adjustment fees to correct their mistakes and a bunch of, I actually don't even fully understand what happened. They started refunding things that were, I took a picture of like what was there and there was a missing item. The guy missed dried cilantro because, if I have to go another month after this, I'm going to be eating after this week, right? So if I go another month without eating, like I did in this last one, cilantro will rot. Even though right now it's still doing good. We're on almost the end of week 2, and the cilantro is doing great. But I want it to get dry because, if I have to wait a month, no cilantro is going to wait another month or last another month. So anyway, that was the only item that was missing. And the nutritional yeast was there, and they refunded the nutritional yeast. I said, no, it's in the picture. Like, why did you refund the nutritional yeast? And they marked up the price. And I said, so you guys said that the item wasn't there for $7. And then the exact same item was found, but it was marked up to $11. So you switched out the exact same product. You just upped the price for no reason. And they're not different. They're not different size bags. So I said, can you not exploit me like that and just keep it the original price? Because that's deceptive marketing, which you're doing there. And anyway, it's the world's, you might think it's kind of pathetic that I'm spending time on, these couple of dollars in these delivery apps, these grocery delivery apps, because I'm too weak to walk to the store from all the hunger striking, right? Or it's risky. I could do it. It's just risky. And I'm trying to save my energy. It seems like something small considering the world is descending into chaos, right? Shouldn't we be focusing more on AI? But right now I'm in the poverty trap and every dollar counts, you guys. I'm holding on by a thread because I'm getting off the hamster wheel that's descending. And I'm working on this full time as much as I can. Court cases, stuff like that. But it's not a small thing. These delivery apps are a gold mine for personal data. And the world's 4 largest hedge funds, well, almost largest, 2 of them I think are the actual largest, BlackRock and Vanguard, are running this little delivery app. What are they doing? Multi-trillion-dollar companies with this little app. They're trying to do price manipulation. It's the ultimate way to control one of the biggest markets in the world and know your personality type at the same time to sell you everything else. So it's a way for me to take on, we're starting God's government. We're holding a big conference. I'm in the courthouse with the Supreme Court of Canada and the Associate Chief Justice and the Attorney General's office now. The Attorney General's office is sending their personal lawyers because I sued the Attorney General for building a justice system that is not a justice system. It's a legal system. And I proved it. I proved that the government made unconstitutional legislation in the 1980s in my area that's blocking me from going further in my case because they're blocking the right to appeal in a clever way. So anyway, there's a lot happening here, but it really does have the potential to make big changes. This little guy in the basement, if you have the universal logic in your mind, right, which is the solution that we're proposing, it allows you to obtain a perspective where all the complexities of life have an essence to them. And as long as you're aligned with wisdom, you can generate very large effects with very little effort or very little waste. Okay, and this is what's allowing me to know and discern what is a distraction and what is essential. So I'm working on the essentials, and this little delivery app, this app, because I'm so in tune with justice, I question, like, well, how would this affect the poor if they overcharge this item? Like, they're going to exploit the poor this way. So just in trying to care for the poor, you start to get deeper and asking deeper questions, and all of a sudden it leads you to why our societies are toxic. You don't judge a society by how it treats its wealthy. You judge it by how it treats its poor. And I'm down here with the poor. And I'm noticing that they're exploiting people with this little app. And all you have to do is ask simple questions like, I don't like that. That's not just. I want to protect somebody. And it will lead you down these incredible paths because the clever exploiters, the desperate, always hide it. And you have to be able to see through the cracks. So that's what's happening here. So we have the world's largest corporations. We're building our own governance model with the United Nations. And update, we have 4 Harvard people coming on Friday, 3 United Nations trained people, one of the top innovators in my province here. And we just had one of the top employees of one of the top, the top tech engineer of one of the top fintech companies in the world read the structure of pure wisdom and the proof of truth, which I sent them on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago. And they just responded today and said, that paper you sent me was actually very intriguing. I would like to have a call with you. And they also registered to come to the event on Friday, where all the Harvard people are, where we're going to be doing the first pilot test of the structure of pure wisdom, how we're going to measure the fragmentation that's dividing us using the criterion of the structure of pure wisdom, which is universal logic. So that was a good sign. We're not out of the water yet, right? We're not in the clear. But if Friday goes well, we will be able to raise or start raising the $600 million to book out convention centers of 25,000 people and bring world leaders and get God's government started. So this is called the Last Conference of Humanity, and you can help me plan it if you want. It's based around this core. And the core is really what holds us together. It's the essence of the problem, solution, and implementation of the solution. So you guys know it in one sentence. If the people around you are despairing, and my friends are starting to come back to me and saying, yeah, you were right. What do we do? They do the core. And it goes like this. One rule or fair ruled spirit's core starts with time compression through clarity and ego wisdom. The problem is the Megacrisis. The solution is the 2 sacred sentences, and the implementation is the flow rules and flocks. Doesn't make any sense to most people. But we're going to go back and we're going to unpack. So we unpacked the Megacrisis in 15 points. You can go back in the videos. And we stopped, we did cultural decline, we did AI, CRISPR, World War III, and now climate change. Did we do climate change last time? I don't think so. We are destroying the planet. We have crossed 7 of 9 planetary boundaries. Actually, you know what? I feel like I might have done these already. I don't know. I'm doing lots of update videos. This is like day 200, like 306 or 307. And I have 587 videos of accountability. You can see me 24/7. I'm actually streaming 24/7 on YouTube. So you know what I'm doing. Like no privacy. But anyway, if I did climate already, I'll just do it again. I'm just going to keep going in circles, right, as we're doing more videos so new people can see this. And we're already at 10 minutes, so I should probably keep this short. But we've hit 7 of 9 planetary boundaries, which means that if you hit them, they're irreversible. They're very hard to go back because they set off cascading events. So the latest one was the oceans are getting so hot that they're starting to lose oxygen. They're starting to acidify, which I didn't think was a thing, but it is. And it's not a good sign. That happened just this year. So one of the biggest contributors is animal agriculture. Our diets are actually one of the biggest contributors to our unhappiness on multiple levels, and disease and a whole bunch of things, but we're torturing 1 trillion animals when we don't need to eat them. Our bodies are designed for vegetables. If you eat just meat, you'll get sick if you don't cook it, and it tastes disgusting if you don't season it. But also, you can't survive just off of meat. You will die if you just eat meat. Meat doesn't have everything you need. But if you eat vegetables and plants, you can get everything you need. Protein, B12, everything. You can take a supplement, but you can eat the soil. That's how we used to get it. You don't get B12 from animals. You get it from what the animals eat, which is the soil, the plants. Even though there's no B12 in plants, all very little, in very, very, very small amounts, but it's the bacteria that produces it. And we want to get class 1 protein because our bodies used to have even longer intestines 2.6 million years ago, but we only started eating meat because of climate change back then, 2.6 million years ago, and we maladapted, right? This food that we're eating is only supposed to be eaten if we're running super marathons, chasing down antelope for hundreds of kilometers and things like that. Otherwise, it builds up atherosclerotic plaques in your heart and gives you a heart attack. It builds up, the animal fats build up in your body. But if you eat plants, you don't get that. Our appendixes have shrunken. All this good bacteria that would normally be in there. Bacteria causes serotonin and happiness in the brain, as we now know. So is it any wonder that we're having mental health problems? Is there anyone, like, we're having a decline in our own well-being, but also the planet, biodiversity loss. 70% of species have disappeared from us in the last 60 years alone. That's not good. Okay, fossil fuels are also causing a big problem. Plastics, pollution, but animal agriculture is clear-cutting the forest. It is causing a huge amount of damage, and all you have to do is stop putting it into your mouth. It is now a divine decree to go vegan as soon as you can. Eat like Eden, go vegan. There's only 0.2% of the world's population that actually can't go vegan because of genetic issues or other problems in their bodies. Very, very, very few people can't eat plants full time. And it tastes good if you know how to use nutritional yeast and all these types of really delicious things. So that's what I'm going to say about the core there. There's a lot more to say, but if you just stop eating, and it's carcinogenic, processed meat is literally cancerous, proven. If you go vegan, your chances of cancer drop by at least 12.6%, and for some cancers, 34%. That's crazy. And that's like with the nobody's getting away from microplastics. We've poisoned every fresh water source on Earth. Think about that. We have poisoned every fresh water source on Earth. And you might think, well, not the mountain. We haven't been to all the places in the remote mountains and all that. Nobody's ever there. It's because of the rain clouds. The toxins and the particulates go into the rain clouds and they rain on the mountains even if we're not there. That's why it's poisoning everything. All the animals, they bioaccumulate all that. So even if you hunt in the wild and you're indigenous or whatever, you're eating toxic meat. Or very high chance, very likely. And even in the ocean, they're estimating up to 70% of fish have microplastics in them too. And then you eat the fish and you get concentrated microplastics and mercury poisoning and a whole bunch of things. So we are in a very bad situation. The soil is eroding. In 40, 50 years, we're not even going to have enough soil to grow food for ourselves. We're depleting the soil. So we have to do something about this, okay? And the simplest thing you can do is just stop eating animal products. Dairy, eggs, all of it, okay? You can do it. I done it. I teach you how to cook gourmet vegan, so it tastes great. I don't like watery tofu either, but that's a benefit because tofu is actually supposed to be customizable to all these different tastes. So it absorbs flavors very, very well. Okay, now I'm going to say the emergency core is more like the news that's happening. The Iran war is still raging. They tried to give a peace deal. Iran's not accepting it. AI is expanding all over the place, and they're starting to worry about jobs, like big losses of jobs. Anthropic is the CEO, Dario, who we should support, is suing the Pentagon because they tried to punish them for standing up for ethics. That's a really incredible position to have taken. There's so many articles that are happening per day. I can't even remember them all, but those are the big ones right now in the news. But really, it's AI. We have to get that under control, you guys. Really, we've already hit these tipping points. It'll take 3 years to break all of them, but it'll take 10 years to feel the effects, and we don't want to wait that long. Okay, I'm going to end this with the wifey update. As you guys know, we can bake our vegan cake and eat it too, meaning that our personal, professional, and activist lives can come together wisely and responsibly. So when you come to our meetings, we help connect all these resources so we have fulfilling, meaningful connections. All this loneliness, all this bad food, all this stuff that's happening to us, it's not normal or fragmenting. So I'm looking for my wifey, and I have a slogan, the wifey slogan. If she's too hardcore for everybody else, she's just right for me. She's vegan. She's a good, deep, old soul. She wakes up in the morning. She's not afraid to sacrifice. She wakes up wanting to help people. Even if she's tired, she takes care of herself. She's wise. But she always has this overflowing abundance, even when she's tired. And I've been gifted that way too. And so can you, if you get into flow states with us. That's what God's government is about, or the wise government. Look up flow states and autotelic personalities, which we'll be talking about with the 2 sacred sentences. But if you know somebody like this, who's a beautiful inner soul and takes care of herself, like if she's a temple, but she treats other people that way and encourages them, that sounds like somebody that fits a queen, like my wife. Okay. Have a beautiful night or evening or morning, wherever you're watching this. Spread it around the world. You guys know I'm being shadow banned like crazy. So it'll have to be the spreading good news through the word of mouth. And until then, until we get this thing taking off, stay blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, keep sublating. Peace. I'm going to have some tasty water.